Good night. Next news. Cheryl Hines, disappointing, Kennedy family has split with RFK Jr. The Hill. Cheryl Hines says she finds Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s falling out with his relatives disappointing, speaking out against the public attack coming from members of what she thought was a close-knit family. It was hard. I found it to be hard, Hines said when asked by CBS Morning's Natalie Morales. Below are your comments. His mother was very old and perhaps didn't fully understand his political positions. They are most definitely not in alignment with his father. His dad was a firebrand with whom I didn't always agree, but I don't believe he would have ventured to portray himself as an expert in something in which he was not trained and knew very little about. He is showing an addictive obsession. I loved her in Curb Your Enthusiasm, but being a good actor doesn't have anything to do with good judgment. If she loves the guy, fine. But if she truly loves him, she'll be looking at options for mental health care. RFK Jr. doesn't just have controversial views. He's mentally off. I'd sympathize if hundreds of millions of Americans didn't have to live under his rule when it comes to public health and our institutions of science. If one of my relatives had power to hurt people not just here but with fallout affecting the world's people, I'd disown that person, and if that person did such inappropriate actions as this guy, I'd avenue to speak out against him, family or not. Cheryl Hines. Disappointing, Kennedy family has split with RFK Jr. David Lee and many in the USA. Disappointing, RFK Jr. has split from reality and good common sense. Hines can have her opinion. I'm with the Kennedy family. RFK Jr. is an embarrassment to the Kennedy family, this nation and himself. Hines can think what she likes. Family first only applies when the person in question is actually qualified. We all have the oddball in our circle. Yet, when it affects millions, you have to call him out on it. Side effects from heroin are long-lasting. If I were you, I would run as fast as I can. File for divorce before it gets even worse. One thing for sure. Trump doesn't follow Kennedy's medical care advice. He relies on real doctors. What some gals are willing to put up with to maintain their lifestyle. This makes me think even less of her than him. It's family first to a certain point. You can't support a family member who is off the rails just because he's family. There's got to be a sense of right and wrong. Unhinged is hard to take. We don't listen to or watch anything Cheryl does anymore because she's still involved with RFK and W. E can't tolerate him. I'm glad his family has disowned him. He deserves it. Hines is simply upset because she always wanted to be a part of the Kennedy family, which is why she married that moron. Now because everyone in the family hates his guts, she feels she's on the outside looking in. She is disappointed that the rest of the family has a moral compass and the courage to speak up instead of loyalty to someone that is putting lives at serious risk. I was about to just say a quick nobody cares what Kennedy thinks and realized there were only 16 comments at THSE time. Anyway, and they were singing my tune. It's okay to believe what you believe, but evoking it on millions is a whole different thing. Yeah, because they don't want him or his policies a part of their legacy. I would distance myself as well. What's disappointing is that she has no self-respect. As far as I know, RFK Jr. has pretty much ruined his own reputation. Worm in the brain. Carrying around a dead bear cub in his trunk and trying to pass it off as being run over by a bike in Central Park. Even his daughter has questioned him. RFK Jr. did this to himself. He represents none of their values, morals, priorities, and obviously cares little for the family. Nah. Me. If the Kennedy family had not split from him, it would have been hypocrisy at its worst. They didn't split from him. His family members all have the same beliefs they've always had. He first went to Harris's campaign and said he would endorse her for a promise of a position in her administration. They laughed. Trump was his second choice. Now he is not only an anti-vax extremist in charge of our health, he's MAGA. Bobby isn't well. Not sure why Cheryl would think they would all be supportive of his craziness, just because she's choosing to do so. He has just brought shame to the Kennedy name and they all should ostracize him. He doesn't stand for any of the Kennedy values. That's my opinion. She's just as bad as her husband. I almost consider her to be worse than him because she freely chooses to stay with someone like T. They are a smart bunch and know he's peddling nonsense. It's a danger to this country to have him in charge of health. Cheryl Hines, it's disappointing that you can't admit that your husband is a fraud and is trying to destroy this country with his dangerous health policies. You weren't going to get any new gigs anyway. He's your best bet, as sad as that is. There is something wrong with her. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you like it, please thumbs up.